Okay, so Adon, tell me what you were doing before Year Up, how you heard about the program, and why you decided to join.
Before Year Up, actually, I went to college, City College of San Francisco for 2 years, from 2012 to 2014. After that, I dropped out and I started working as a bartender for 2 years. So from 2014 to, as of now, present, I'm still working as a bartender. How I heard about the program was through a friend, actually, of mine. He just graduated, or he didn't graduate, I'm sorry. He graduated about like two classes ago. Emmanuel Michel, he was a great friend of mine, grew up with him, and I actually saw him go through the program and actually finish with the program. And I saw the transitions and changes he went through, and I wanted to do that. I heard about it. I did some research, honestly, over Google, and I found the website, and I did some reading and whatnot, and I actually wanted to apply. I applied for an info session, and they called me right away, and I came for an info session.
Great, thank you.
Go for it, Monet.
What was your biggest challenge and growth area during learning and development? What did you do to overcome this challenge? What specifically will you do to plan ahead and ensure yourself to set up for success in your internship in the future?
That's a good one. A growth area of mine during learning and development was my authenticity. A lot of coordinators, they told me that that is one of my strengths, but however, that is one of my weaknesses. So in order to conquer that or try to work on it, I went over to my coaches, and I said, is there any after class or on a certain day, can I get feedback? Not just during Friday feedback, but actually throughout the week, like on a Wednesday, because I wanted to work on my authenticity, because some of my coordinators would say that it's great, I have a lot of passion, I give a lot of I give a lot of new ideas during team projects and whatnot. And so when I would feel passionate about something, I would put too much, and my authenticity would come out, and it would actually look bad. It no longer was helping me. It would look bad. So what I would do, I would ask my teachers after class is, how was I presenting myself today? Was my authenticity and my professional brand up to par? Was I looking like a fool, or was I actually, presenting myself, serious and taking myself serious and in a respectful manner?
Great. So, Adon, why do you want to work in tech?
Work in tech. So through research, I found that there's a lot of opportunities in tech. And since I'm living in the mecca of tech, where the tech industry is booming, that is the main industry that has overcome my city, and there's a lot of opportunities that and a lot of positions that are open for folks like me, and it's not just working in front of a computer. It's also going out and working with video development and music production, and that needs some type of tech knowledge, and there I feel like that can open a lot of opportunities for a person myself, because I'm interested in music and actually doing video production, and those are the type of positions that I feel that my skills could be applied to and actually give me opportunities in working in different types of companies.
Thank you. Great. So, which internship track have you selected?
I'm interested in project coordination.
Okay. So, Adon, tell me what makes you a strong candidate for a project coordination internship.
I feel like I learned in my ILL class. I feel like I would learn a lot. I would talk to my peers I would get advice from them, but I would also do my own research. And when I'm comfortable in doing my own research and actually learning on my own, I feel like that is when I actually gain the knowledge and know the knowledge that I want to know. You know, I feel sometimes when teachers give me assignments, I feel pressured, and sometimes I don't feel like this interests me. But actually, when I have the freedom to actually go and research and learn on my own, I feel like that is when I actually obtain the knowledge that I want to learn, and I'm able to implement them in my job or whatnot, or be resourceful to my friends or my family members and whatnot. So they know what I'm learning, and I get to help them out on things I'm being up to date with.
Great. And can you tell me a little bit how that relates to you being a strong candidate for a project coordinator position?
I feel to be a project coordinator, you have to have that type of initiative to go learn on your own, to be resourceful for your team members, because sometimes your team members might not have that initiative to actually go learn on their own. They have to learn from somebody and whatnot. And I feel like I can be that hard resource for them in order to, hey, if they needed some help, I can be that person to help them out. If they needed something to learn or develop a skill and whatnot, I feel like I can actually be that person and actually help them out in learning how and giving them advice to learn a certain task. So I feel that's my skills in project coordination would definitely complement that in that position, because I feel like a lot of friends through learning and a lot of my colleagues through learning and development would come to my would need my assistance.
So I'm going to go ahead and ask you a scenario-based question. Talk about a time you had to complete a large quantity of work in a short amount of time. How did you ensure that you both met the deadline and delivered a high-quality project?
So a time I almost missed the deadline, I would say, was in my networking my networking 201 class, and it was with Renee, and she gave us 9 assignments to do over the weekend, and it was I had just Saturday and Sunday. I had to work actually Saturday and Sunday, so I definitely had to be time manageable in order to complete that. So knowing that I had to work Saturday and Sunday, on Friday, I stayed after class with some of my colleagues, and we finished half of the assignments because I didn't want to be overwhelmed with the type of work over the weekend because of my job. So I finished half of the assignments, and then since I was working in the morning, I was able to, on my downtime, do some research on the assignments that I had to do, and then after work, I was able to already have the research that I needed in order to complete the task, and then actually turn it in on time with the right quality of work.
So, Adon, Europe is a very structured environment, and you know this because you've experienced it over the last 13 weeks, with this week being an exception. You are about to move on to or into an internship where you're going to have less structure and more downtime. What is your plan to ensure you're successful in that environment?
Can you repeat it one more time?
So, we know that Europe is a very structured environment. And you are right at that point in program where we're about to transition into internship, where most of our interns came back to us and said, there's less structure at my internship and I have more downtime. What is your plan to ensure that you would be successful in an environment where you had less structure and more free time?
Being that I like to learn on my own and have the free time, I like to do a lot of research. I like to do a lot of research on what's new in tech, what's going on in the world, and actually being informed on the new things on the new updates that's going on in society and in the city, actually. I feel that if I were to be in project management, that would be so helpful, because that's that's helping me be aware of things that I can implement in my job, you know. And actually, when I would have downtime, I believe that's when I would handle my work first, and then actually see if there is some extra work I can do. However, I would also do some research too as well on the side, to actually keep up to date on certain technologies to see if I can bring that aware to my team and see if it's helpful in our situations.
Thank you.
So I have another question for you. If I asked you to schedule and run a weekly 15-minute stand-up check-in meeting with the team so that we can update each other on projects we're working on, how would you do that?
On Outlook, I would use Outlook, and then I would go to the calendar, and then depending on the day we would want to schedule the meeting, I would get that type of information, use it in Outlook actually, and how's it go? Yes, I would use Outlook, and then after send meetings, send an invitation or a meeting saying that there's going to be a rescheduling every Tuesday, for feedback, let's say, and it would give an awareness every 15 minutes before the actual meeting, and that's how I would go about that.
And how would you run it?
How would I
if
run
you were
it?
running the meeting too, responsible for scheduling it and then running it?
Well, being that I joined Toastmasters, I was able to, they gave us the opportunity to facilitate meetings. I believe that's helped me a lot in running meetings, and also giving me the practice to actually facilitate meetings. So what I would like to do is, what I would do to run it is I would set an agenda, and then after I would talk about what are the things we're going to go over that meeting. Then after I would see if the people that are there that we're going to attend are present, and then I would go over. I would start the task. I would start the conversation and say, okay, this is what we're jumping in and whatnot. Is there any feedback, or is there any like advice or whatnot? Is there anything you would like to bring to the table? And soon after that, I would ask for questions and just end the meeting there.
Tell us about a time when you struggled with reliability. How did you overcome that?
So in the job I work at, in the restaurant, my position there is I have to be reliable. I have to be reliable. I have to be capable to maybe, sacrifice a day and actually come into work and cover another person's position. And this actually happened recently, where my manager wasn't able to come in. And since I've worked there for 2 years, I've been able to know how to run the restaurant. So he wasn't able to come in, and I had to do deliverables. Unfortunately, I told him that I was going to come late, but I was still able to come by and cover his shift and make sure that the restaurant was running successfully. After that, in that time, I was still able to handle my schoolwork and actually be able to do my job, because I was covering his role, and his role is tricky. He has a lot of downtime, let's just say, and yeah, it was interesting actually to switch positions for a certain day, and that actually gave me some knowledge on how his position works too as well. So that was really helpful.